Who cares about March Madness? When the Valspar Championship is upon us, people, we're not worried about March Madness. We're not worried about your brackets. We're worried about this week's course, Copperhead, Innisbrook Country or Resorts. Yo, Fairway to Heaven, it starts in 30 seconds. And a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fairway to Heaven right here on the DSM Media Network. We're live every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. with Fairway to Heaven. Make sure you like, share, retweet, follow on all social media platforms. If you want to get interactive with the show, the best place to do that is the DSM Media YouTube page. Head over there, hit the like button on the video, the subscribe button. Turn notifications on so you do not miss a minute of the action when we are live. I'd greatly appreciate that. Like I said, we got the Valspar Championship this week. We do not care. Well, we do, but we don't care about March Madness tonight. We care about golf, the PGA Tour. We are in Innisbrook Resorts, the Copperhead Course, the Snake Pit for the Valspar Championship this week. Final leg, as you would say, of the Florida Swing. We're getting closer and closer to Masters and Major season, so this is it. We move on to match play and some of the other stuff in coming weeks. This is the end of the Florida Swing, so it's typically a weaker field. It's a tough spot. I saw somebody, I forget who it was, maybe it was Brian Kirshner. He tweeted something out a couple days ago. Should there be like a week off this week? He had the Players Championship. Shout out to Scotty Scheffler. He was in a lot of my lineups. I did not have a bet on him. Winning the Players last week, dominating fashion. Man, 17 last week was a rough for a lot of people, a lot of golfers. But would it be okay if they got a week off? Maybe this week. You know, you got the start of March Madness. Not a lot of attention on golf in general. That maybe the PGA, and it made me think, because I've suggested it before, that maybe the PGA Tour should institute some bye weeks across the schedule. It would help. Obviously, some of the weaker fields, like this week, we've got, 5 top 20 golfers, 10 of the top 50. Better than some of the other non-designated events, but still not top, top tier talent in this field, this week's field. You know, maybe that changes next year when they're doing away with the match play event, because it was announced a few weeks ago. I don't even know if I touched on it, that they're doing away with the match play, the WGC event. Which I'm okay with. I know some people like it. It's their version of March Madness, and we'll break it down next week and whatnot. But it's not my favorite tournament like other people of the week. But maybe a week off wouldn't be the worst thing on the PGA Tour. So anyway, this week, Valspar Championship, we've got the two-time defending champion Sam Burns in the field. The last 4 years it's been won by two people, Sam Burns and Paul Casey. The last 4 years, they're both two-time defending champions. Obviously, Paul Casey's over on LIV, so he will not be in the field. But Sam Burns, who's been struggling as of lately on tour, not so much the last week or so, but overall has been struggling as the two-time defending champion. This is, like I said, to open, one of the last ends of the Florida Swing here, or the last of the Florida Swing. Tight, dog-leg, ball striker's paradise, shot shaping type golf course. It's a par 71, but what's odd about the par 71, there are 4 par 5s and 5 par 3s on this course. So obviously extra emphasis on scoring on the par 5s, extra emphasis on the par 3 scoring this week. Long Island irons are key. You get a lot of tee shots because of the dog legs and the elevation changes and everything. A lot of shots fall into that 175 to 200 approach iron, spot there. So you're looking at guys that hit the irons well, hit approach shots well, scramble well. Scores outside of Sam Burns' 217 unders at this course. Most of the time, winning scores -8, -9, -10. It's a very low scoring event. It's a very difficult course. You got to be great at positional golf. Um, you just do. You've got to handle the weather. You got to handle so much other stuff. It kind of doesn't surprise me based off of the location on the schedule and also the type of course it is. Some of the big dogs just don't play, but it does give some other guys a chance. Now, if Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, or Rory McIlroy aren't in the event, which John Rahm, you effed me big time last week with your withdrawal. You weren't feeling well. I hope you feel better. But that's your one shot of screwing me. And then the John Rahm rule: play John Rahm, and everybody else is over if you screw me again. But yeah, so this week we're looking at a tee to green ball striking short game course. So we built my model, and let's see what we got here. I'm looking on another screen, so I'll flop back and forth from the questions. Obviously, I got this sorted, by prices on DraftKings. As always, I've got my shots gained total in there. Right here, I got shots gained approach 20%, tee to green 20%, bogey avoidance. Some people use it, some don't. On a course like this, where -8, -9 might be the winning score, I need a little touch of that. 10% off the tee. I really struggled with how to model the off the tee, the good drives gained, driving accuracy, driving distance this week. Because I think on shorter courses, driving distance does matter. Because driving distance is all about clubhead speed, and if you got good clubhead speed, it means you got good clubhead speed with your irons. So that 175 to 200 yards second shot, if you're a longer hitter, you'll be using a shorter iron than some of the other players. But I chose to just go this week with off the tee, kind of encapsulate all of the driving stats there. Obviously, I put a heavy emphasis, 10%, par 3, par 5, and that 175 to 200 proximity. Scrambling is important this week as well. And, putting's there, zero weighted as always, but always there off to the side. I mean, these are Bermuda greens, really, really, really tough Bermuda greens, but, I'm not weighing it this week. We'll resort it for a second. Adam Hadwin comes in at number 1 in my model. Tommy Fleetwood, Joseph Bramlett, number 3. Wyndham Clark, Justin Rose, Ben Griffin, Keegs, Ryan Gerard, Aaron Rye, Gary Woodland. They're my top 10. But we're going to sort this out by price here as we go through these tiers here tonight. We're going to blow through it tonight. I know some of you are playing the first, watching the first floor, so want to get through this for everybody as quickly as possible. I am fading all 4 guys in the top 10K: Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Sam Burns, and Matthew Fitzpatrick. First off, very hard to win 3 times in a row. It's only happened a few times on tour that anybody has ever won 3 events in a row. Sam Burns looked better last week at the Players after missing a couple cuts. His off the tee game, his tee to green game, much better. He putted really well last week. Finished 35th at the Players. I'm not ready to go all in on Sam Burns. Jordan Spieth says he's feeling better. Something is wrong with Jordan Spieth. I still think he's injured. Matthew Fitzpatrick still talking about injuries occasionally. And Justin Thomas just hasn't been good this year. He hasn't been Justin Thomas with his irons. So I'm full fade because this is a weaker field. By full fading, I mean I've already built all 21 of my lineups. Max enter the jukebox, and I got a single entry in another event. 21 lineups. I didn't want to stretch myself too thin with too much usage of guys in the 6K or 11 or low 7K. I've got names I like, but I don't want to overexpose myself to them. And I really like some of these guys in the 9K. So I full faded the 10K range. The top of the 9K range, well, the 9K range as a whole, I mean, it's loaded. Davis Riley, Brian Harmon, Adam Hadwin, number 1 in my model, for a reason. He's won here before, 7th last year here. Currently, let me bring this up, still currently the highest projected owned player on Fantasy National is still Adam Hadwin. So that's interesting there. I'm going backwards here. Denny McCarthy, I think, is a sneakier play. I like him a lot this week. Keegan Bradley, great play. Justin Rose, not a long course. Love Justin Rose this week. But my play of the week, right here, number 5th in the pricing, Mr. Tommy Fleetwood, 2nd in my model. I've got 21 lineups. He is in 15 of them. That is the most usage I've ever given a single player in my in my life. I've got a bet on him 25-1. And why? Great tee to green player, great approach player, great around the greens. It's kind of that Pete Dye specialist type course, which is just like this. Finished 17th here last year, so has that course history a little bit. Um, Everything tells me that Tommy Fleetwood's going to win eventually. He's 32. He hasn't won yet on the PGA Tour, but he's playing good golf. Last year, he had 3 out of 4 events, had a 4th place finish in a row. Tommy Fleetwood's going to get back into the winner's circle. But I was talking to Jason, my man Jason, who's sometimes on the show with me today, and he doesn't like Tommy Fleetwood because he doesn't think Tommy Fleetwood could win. And I get that because he's never won on the PGA Tour, Tommy Fleetwood. And 25-1, they're decent odds. He's come down to 22-1. I got him a little earlier in the week, but I put him in 15 lineups for a specific reason. It's because if you want to bet Tommy Fleetwood, I got a betting screen up here. Let me look at something real quick here. He's plus 125 top 20. He's plus 260 top 10. I think Tommy Fleetwood's ceiling to floor is really, really small. He ain't going to finish outside the top 10 this week. He might not get into the top 5, but Tommy Fleetwood's going to finish in the top 10. So the win equity might not be there for him, but he's going to be in the top 10. And on the ownership projection side, he's going to be up there. But let me tell you something. There is not as much of a sure thing this week as Tommy Fleetwood top 10. So Tommy Fleetwood, play Tommy Fleetwood, and let the rest work itself out. So I got a lot of Tommy Fleetwood this week. Like I said, I know he started here, Adam Hadwin. He started because he's number 1 in my model. I have faded Adam Hadwin this week. Why? He's number 1 in your model. 13th at the Players last week. Great. Lost 2 strokes putting, but gained everywhere else. Missed the cut at the Arnold Palmer because of bad approach play and bad putting. The week before that, or the event before that, the Genesis, lost 4 strokes on approach, lost 2 strokes. He has lost 2 or more strokes putting 3 straight tournaments, lost strokes on approach 2 of the last 3, lost shots gained at the Genesis, 66th place, lost 6.3 strokes total. I know he's got good course history at this event, but before last year, he had 2 straight missed cuts here when he was struggling on approach. When he missed the cut in 2021, lost 2 strokes on approach, lost a half a stroke putting, missed a cut in 2019, lost strokes approach around the green, tee to green. Adam Hadwin, I don't think is playing as well as the Players Championship numbers say. I think the floor to ceiling of Adam Hadwin is much greater than Tommy Fleetwood. And right now, Adam Hadwin is the most projected, highest owned guy in the field. To me, that scares me. So he was a full fade for me. All right, in the 8. So I've got a lot. I want to go over my usage real quick. Like I said, I got 15 lineups with Tommy Fleetwood. I got 5 with Rose and Keegs. They were kind of late, little here and there sprinkles. Denny McCarthy, yes. I got 7 lineups with him in it. I do like Denny McCarthy this week. Where's his projected ownership at right now? 11%. If you like those pivots, if you want to go 9,200 Adam Hadwin at 20.5%, Denny McCarthy's 11%. Talk about a pivot right there. These numbers are going to update as we get closer to the event, but you can't go wrong there. So they're the 4 players. I started my card with Fleetwood, Rose, Keegs, and McCarthy in that 9K range. All right, so then we go to that 8K range. And there's some really good names. So for as a not deep as a field of it is, the mid-range guys, there are so many good guys in the 8 and 9K range that are just such good plays. Justin Sue has finally gotten the price bump this week. Odds Checker, I believe it is, on Twitter. They post they collect data from 500, 600 different content creators, all the outright bets and top first rounds and all that kind of stuff. He's the most bet guy this week, and I have bet him. I got him at 35-1. He's down to 30-1. He has now gone 6th place at the Players, 24th at the Arnold Palmer, 5th at the Honda. And how's he do that? Gains a shit ton of strokes on approach. He has gained 11 and a half strokes the last 3 tournaments on approach. He hasn't lost strokes on approach since the Amex, where he lost five of his last six gained on approach. Gained four of his last six tee to green. Gained two of his last. He gained last week at the Players 5 strokes around the green. Gained strokes 5 of his last 6 on putting. The numbers are catching up to Justin Suh. I love Justin Suh this week, and I think you should too. Ignore the ownership. He's in 8 of my 21 lineups, which is normally one of my top guys, and it is. I only got 2 guys clicked more than him, also in the 8K range, and obviously Tommy Fleetwood. Shout out to Kyle. He said top 20 for Suh last week, and I didn't even have to sweat it. I didn't have to worry about the dead heat on DraftKings. I got paid out 5-1. I placed what would that be, 2.5 unit bet on that, and it hit. So shout out to Kyle, who watches the show when he can, for the Justin Suh. He's been on board with Justin Suh for a while now. I haven't. Wyndham Clark. Love Wyndham Clark this week. Also bet him. He is also in 8 lineups for me. He is going to be chalky. I've got a lot of chalky guys on my card. And then down that low 7, upper 6K range, I've got a lot of 1s and 2 clicks to kind of balance it out. Wyndham Clark hasn't missed a cut since the Shriners back in October. That's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight events he's made the cut. Got a bunch of top 10s and top 20s mixed in there. How's he do it? He's only lost twice strokes on approach. Tee to green, only lost strokes once. Gained strokes when he can on putting. Wyndham Clark's a really good golfer in a really weak field. Doesn't have great course history, but I like Wyndham Clark a lot this week. Again, like I said, he's one of. I only made 4 outright bets. I've got the opportunity to add another. Kyle gave me some names, and I don't know about them. We'll bring them up, at the end of the show. But 35-1 on Wyndham Clark, I think it's a good play. Maverick McNeely. I know. Look, 76 in my model. It's because he's been terrible on approach and tee to green. But why do I have Maverick McNeely in my player pool? 7 clicks, actually. Well, 60th of the Players, 31st at the Farmers, 7th at the Sony Open. There is 3 events this year. Gain strokes around the green, putting in all of them. Valspar. 35th here last year. I think Denny McCarthy, or Maverick McNeely, is a better golfer right now than his numbers are showing. I like him. Gary Woodland plays tough courses. This is a tough course. Not a tough field, but a tough course really well. Then down here, Rye ended up getting deleted. He did not make the final cut. Taylor Moore got a few clicks from me, but Ben Griffin. I've been all over the Ben Griffin train all year this year, and this is the week it pays off. I got him at 50-1 to win. He is down to 45, some places 40-1. I absolutely love Ben Griffin. Missed a cut at the Pebble Beach back in February, but that's his only missed cut since September. And he's got top 10s, top 5s, top 20s, and how's he do it? Since that missed cut the fortnight, he's missed cuts on approach once. He's missed cut strokes, tee to green, once. Off the tee, only twice. This guy is a really good golfer in a field like this. I'm telling you, I've only got 4 outrights, and it's because I'm really confident that one of these 4 outrights hit. And if I had to pick one, not because he's 50-1 versus the others being 25 and 35-1, I really, really love the chances of Ben Griffin winning. He just does everything so well. Ben Griffin, you watch out for him. Cage Lee, I didn't play him. I started him. He's 11th in my model. Cage Lee and Wyndham Clark were guys I thought were going to be good this year. And Cage Lee has missed 3 of his last 6 cuts, or 3 of his last 5 cuts. Damn. And I really thought this was going to be a breakout year for Cage Lee. It just hasn't happened yet. It might be this week. I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to continue going all in on him. All right, in the 7K range, let's go through some of these names. Steven Yeager was on my probable list, like Lee and Rye were. Yeager also just didn't make the final cut. Nate Lashley, I like Nate Lashley this week. Really good at bogey avoidance, obviously in my model. 60th at the Players, 3rd at Puerto Rico, 20th at Genesis, 61st at Waste Management, missed the cut at the Amex, 7th at the Sony Open. He has quietly put together a really strong season. Again, all on approach, all tee to green kind of play. Well, and sometimes he gets his putter hot. I think in his last 5 events, he hasn't lost strokes anywhere in the 5 major categories, averaging them out. Nate Lashley's a really good play. He got a price bump this week because of his good play. He's been a guy in the 6Ks, 7,600s, a lot for him, but it's a good play. Robbie Shelton, Will Gordon, just like Nate Lashley, have played really good golf lately. Again, why? They're really good tee to green. They're really good approach players, really good ball strikers. They leave something to be desired with the putter. But let me see. Robbie Shelton, he's the guy. Let's see here. Yeah, Shelton's got a little bit of playage for me. Missed the cut last week. But even though he missed the cut, he still gained strokes on approach. And that was his first missed cut since the Sony Open. So, and again, he does it on approach and around the green. Robbie Shelton, really good play this week. Will Gordon, let me click on him real quick. I wish you guys could see because when I click on these names, it takes me to another page, and I can get some more details. I wish it didn't open up new tabs. I wish it just flipped the page. He hasn't missed a cut since the Farmers. Again, he hasn't lost strokes. Even when he misses the cut, he gains on approach. So Will Gordon, really strong play this week in that price range. I do like him. Going down further, Alex Smalley, another guy that's just ready to win an event eventually here. Why not this week? Outside of putting, he does everything really well. Ben Martin, I know some people are on him. EVR, Person Cootie, pass. Bo Hostler. Ryan Gerard popped into my model here. Top 10. For a guy at his price, 7,300, he's projected at almost 12%. Might go a little higher than that. It's kind of scary, a 12% guy at his price, but he's played twice on PGA this year. He's got 11th and a 4th. Slam dunk that right there. Slam dunk that. Eric Cole, another guy. He's getting a lot of love. He's getting high on the ownership. But Sam Ryder. Let's talk about Sam Ryder for a second. I like Sam Ryder this week. Cheapest option at 7,300. Sam Ryder. Page, man. Missed the cut at the Arnold Palmer. But he had a stretch this year. 4th at the Farmers. He almost won that. 20th at Waste Management. 20th at Genesis. And 44th at the Players. He struggled on his approach a little bit the last couple weeks. Last week, the Players, he really struggled. I would have to dive deeper into his round-by-round why. Because I can't see a guy losing 5.1 strokes on approach, still finishing in the top 50. I mean, I know he bounces it out with the 4.6 on the putting green he gained. Because he's better than that, though, on approach. 5.1? Yeah. So in his career, that was his second worst strokes on approach. Wow. Because he is a really good approach player. I'm sorting it by that, yeah. I mean, so that makes sense there. So I like Sam Ryder. He's been playing great golf this year. It's a good play there. Joseph Bramlett, really good iron player again. Trey Mullenix, sneaky play there at 7,200. Rogers and Lee Hodges, like them always. Chesson Headley, Michael Kim. They got sprinkled in. Dylan Wu, better than his brother Brandon Wu, maybe. Yeah, I already shot you out. Yes, 5-1. Yeah, give me who are your guys again, Kyle? This week we're gonna bring up their information. You give me your guys for this week, and we'll bring them up. I think one was Kevin Kisner, right? Kevin Kisner. You wanted to bet Kevin Kisner top 20. So Kevin Kisner, as you can see, 137th out of 144 in my model. Obviously a great putter. Okay scrambler. Let me deep dive on your Kevin Kisner. You can't see it, but I can. Kevin Kisner, 75th on the Players. Before that, miscut. 34th at the Arnold or at the AT&T Pebble Beach, 29th, all the way back in November. Man, Kevin Kisner is not good. Finished 33rd here last year, missed the cut before that. 24th, 26th, 60, miscut. So he's got a lot of inconsistent results. Sorry, you're Kevin Kisner. It's a no. That's a pass. I think you said Bahidi as well, who got his exemption on tour. 78th in my model. 7,500. Let's see how he's done. Obviously, second at Puerto Rico. 49. That's how he's getting his temporary exemption. 49th at the Honda. 45th going back to last year at the to RSM, 17th at the Butterfield. Yeah, I mean, he's okay. I just don't know. Bahidi, he's 75, projected at 8% ownership. I mean, I guess. Oh, Ramey was the other one you had mentioned. That's right. Let's see. Chad Ramey here. There he is, 7K, 129, almost as bad as Kevin Kisner. Deep dive, Chad Ramey, 27th at the Players. See, this is the problem here with Chad Ramey. He was 27th at the Players, losing almost 10 strokes on approach. So I would have to see deep dive each round by round why. He gained 11 strokes putting, which means he loves Bermuda. He loves Florida greens. But he had 3 straight missed cuts before that. He has not gained strokes since the Sony Open back in January on approach. And that was 0.1 strokes on approach. He's lost strokes tee to green all but one time this year. Chad Ramey, 3 out of his last 4 events missed cut. I got to say the numbers say that's a big no on Chad Ramey. Hate to break the news to you. But Chad Ramey will not get a top 20 for me. Just not happening. Sorry. Back down to the 6K range here. This was some reason this guy popped up here, and I looked at him, John van der Laan, and it popped because he did well at the Puerto Rico Open, 7th place there, 35th at the Butterfield. The last time before that he was on tour. I would have to check on DraftKings. Let me go over here. I want to. I don't know if I could pull this up here or not. I want to say he's got some good finishes on the Korn Ferry Tour this year as well, which don't translate to the stat profile. But long shots are striking it well. Yeah, they are. But Vanderbilt. So let's back to this guy, van der Laan. Where's my DraftKings thing here? I want to see. I'm pretty positive he had a good finish. Van der Laan, he's 6,500. Yeah, he's got a 17th on the Korn Ferry this year, 21st on the Korn Ferry Tour, 35th at Butterfield, 7th at Puerto Rico. So he kind of popped in my model. So I put him in one lineup. Why not? The 6K Whisperer may return. We might start calling myself the 6K Whisperer again. But anyway, like I said, so I went very light on my card this week. March Madness is happening. NFL free agency is happening. Lots is happening. But I stuck pretty simple this week. A very basic, balanced model. As you can see, completely skipped the top of the card. Started and stopping with Tommy Fleetwood. And there's a chance I go back and place another bet on Tommy Fleetwood and my top guys in Wyndham Clark and Brandon. I'm telling you, Sue, he didn't really have much of a chance to win the last couple of weeks. But as his numbers get better, I'm telling you, this might be the week that Wyndham Clark or Justin Sue get their first win on tour. I want to say he hasn't won yet, Wyndham Clark. No, finished second at Bermuda a few years ago. So he hasn't won on tour. 7th at RBC Canada last year in June was his last top 10 even on tour. This might be the week that he gets it done. I'm liking that. Yeah. Wyndham Clark, Ben Griffin, another guy. I went really top heavy in that upper 8 and 9K range. Bounced it out very small on the bottom end of the thing. Like I said, 5 with Gerard, 5 clicks on Smalley, 4 clicks on Gordon and Sheldon, 5 on Lashley, 4 on Kramer Hickok. I haven't talked about Kramer Hickok. I must have passed over his name. I like Kramer Hickok this week for a small investment on lineups. His 59th rating. I mean, this guy was like 6,100 or 6K a few weeks ago. And he's gone 29th, 14th, and 44th in his last 3 events. His off-the-tee game is great. Tee to green, really solid. Last week, the Players gains over 6-stroke putting. Playing really good golf right now. So Kramer Hickok, you might want to talk a little Kramer Hickok this week. I think he's a good, solid play. But that's all I got. It's a very small tournament this week. Very small, short show this week. I just wanted to get some content out there. I've had a long week, a busy week overall. Like I said, Copperhead Course, Snake Pit, Innisbrook Resorts, and Valspar. end of the Florida swing. Next week, you got March Madness, their version, the PGA Tour in the match play. So the weaker field. So I kept it small this week, small and simple. We'll see if that pays off bigger this week. I do want to say, I want to give a shout out to Rory McIlroy for admitting that maybe doing all the work he does, promoting the PGA Tour, may have affected his game a little bit. It'll be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks as he takes a couple of weeks off, if he gets his game back on track. And also, again, what did I say at the beginning of the show? I forget now. Lost my train of thought there. Totally. That's how busy of a week it's been, a long week. So I'm just going to cut it a nice short show. Fleetwood, Clark, Sue, Griffin. Play them in all your lineups. Bet them. They are going to make you money this week. I might, since I've got such a small card, I might just go bet all four of those guys top 20. And just double up on them both, all four of them. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not a bad bet. It really isn't. It almost, betting those four guys, Kyle, Fleetwood, Clark, Sue, and Griffin, betting them all outright, betting them all top 20, it should turn you a solid profit this week. I bet, a unit and a half on all three, and I might go bet 2.5 units on all four of them. So, why not? I think it's a good, smart play, especially like me if you're not placing any March Madness bets, because I'm not. I haven't even filled out a lineup, or a bracket yet. I got a guy coming on tomorrow morning on the morning show, Cole, been on the show before, to talk March Madness. I don't even know. I couldn't even name all four number one seeds. That's how little I paid attention to March Madness this week, and college basketball all year. All I know is there's no Philly teams in March Madness this year. Maybe that's why I paid so little attention, because Philly basketball has been bad. So we're gonna wrap up. Fairway to have a nice, early, and quick tonight. Fleetwood, Sue, Clark, Griffin. Bet, bet, bet. Click, and click some more. Everybody have a great night. Fairway to Heaven will be back, or Trending the AM will be back tomorrow morning. Fairway to Heaven next Tuesday. Big things coming. Big secrets. Everybody have a great day. Like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. And yeah, go Birds. It's free agency.